Welcome back, guys. So, in the previous lesson, we analyzed on the UVs for this. So, I'm going to be putting this back into ZBrush and then try to do some bigs for it. So, first of all, it's kind of re-export them back out again. So, I'll go over to File, Export, Export Selection. I need to make sure I'm on the same folder. So, we're pretty much going to import this again. So, I'll go to Import. Let's use the import folder instead. Or we can just do this. Let's just do it on top of the export because you see the same or rather better version we have, because this version now we are exporting out now has UVs in there. So copy the file path, paste the file path in here, and then boot lower sliders. So let's look for that boot lower sliders. Select that and then click export. Please yes. Move to the next one. Exporting boot top sliders. Okay. Next one is this. Okay. Shoelace. Shoelace. Right. Lace hook. You can see an issue in here. It's not properly arranged, so I need to arrange this properly. Let me just orient in here. Orientation is not correct, so I need to do this again. Move this way. Okay, then the rest of this, select everything, and then let's do the outside. Right. Check the reference again just to be sure the arrangement for this is correct. Okay, so far the arrangement for this is fine, I believe. Need to check other angles also to be certain. Yeah, I think for the most part this will work just fine. Okay, so I want to kind of check a different reference just to be sure we're on the right track. Yeah, this will work. Except we might need to make some corrections to it though. I think for the most part this should work. If not, we can just go in and then make the necessary corrections for it and then bring it back in. It shouldn't be too much of an issue, just to elevate some parts a bit more. Okay, so let's export this out. We don't already have this exported out before. Let me just export this out again. So this should be list. Okay, midsole. Right, so flat base, boot body. This boot body should be okay up here. Sole pattern, So now let's think I need to make some of the corrections I see in here that I need to make first would be for this. So I need to correct that first. So I'm going to import them in first into ZBrush. Let's import those into ZBrush first. But I'll make a duplicate of it just to be on the safe side. So select it. Let's see. Okay, let's make a duplicate. And I'll send this duplicate out of the group. Right. Then let's replace it. So we'll do import. So the name is lace hoof. Right. It's in there now. I'll turn on symmetry. Let's turn on symmetry for this. Then we'll do auto group. I just need to make a few corrections in there and then it should be good. So polygroup auto group. This is not what we need. We need just this. About the marks. Right. So with move bro selected. I'll just move this up slightly. Okay. And some more. Right. Extend this all the way to the side. And cover up more region actually. Okay. Getting close. Braid this in some more. Okay. As far as this goes, this should be fine. So what I need to do again is to export it out and then kind of unfold them again. That's what we need to do. To export and unfold. So let's export this out. Right. Then we're going to temporarily hide this. I'll need to bring it out of the group. And let's import it in again. So let's bring this in. Hopefully it takes up the same UV, which is fine. So all we need to do in here would be to go to UV, select, pretty much select these three, then unfold. Okay, then just avoid any weird stretching that might want to occur in there. So don't want any weird stretching in there. Alright, so this should be fine. So I need to re-export this out again. So this hoof. Alright. Delete this weird naming we have in there. Drag and drop this into the group. Then we need to re-import this back again into ZBrush. So let's import this again. Yeah, that should be fine. So the next thing we need to do now will be to bake. Let me drag this into the group. Make it visible. That's what we need. Then now we need to do bakes for the normal map. Let's start with this to make corrections to it. Okay, so tangent space normal. Okay, yes, UV map Set this to 4K resolution. So we only need to make the normal map for it. We only need normal map. So normal map, click on create. Right. So we need to clone map, this backup, go over to texture, keep the export. We want to export as PNG. So create a new folder in here. Let's name this folder to zmap. Zmap. Place of normal. Right, that should be fine. So we need to kind of go and check if this is in the right place. If we kind of bake this out correctly without any major issue. So we need to check. Okay. I think so far we have good UVs in there, which work just fine. Right. So the next thing I would like to adjust would be, I think this particular one, the resolution is quite low, and we can see some issue there already. You can see some issue in there. So we need to import. I'm trying to export and import what has some issue in there that we need to actually fix. This is going to be the first mesh we're going to kind of fix first before the other mesh. So we have this as the so flat base. So flat base. So go over and then import this in. Import. Okay, because when it's importing correctly. So flat base. Import this in. This is going to be an issue. Already see an issue in here. So the topology has been modified and changed. So this is going to be an issue because when we exported this out, the issue we had in there was, let me see. Remember, we have some weird topology around this parts, some weirdness on the UV, so that's going to be an issue. And there isn't a perfect way to actually fix that. We might just have to kind of do the baking in an external software instead. But we'll see. Let's just see. The only issue I have with this is on the back parts. It's not properly positioned. So let's check the UVs first. If there's any UVs in there, let's delete any UVs we have in there first. And then try to import this again. Let's import this again. Let's see if this is going to work. So import. So flat base. Yeah, we still have the same issue going on in there. So I think what we're going to do is to import it as a separate mesh entirely. So let's do append. Let me temporarily hide it for now. Then we'll do append. Append this sphere in there. Let this sphere. Then we import the mesh inside of this instead. So flat base. So it's going to be in the same position. Then we can make the necessary adjustments we need to make. Turn on symmetry for this. I'm going to do, let's pretty much start by doing a bake. Let's pretty much start by doing bake for this. 4K resolution, normal map. With normal map. Okay, any subdivision levels in there. Certainly. So let me just fix this issue instead. So, pretty much I'm going to kind of pull this back out some more. Okay, let this subdivide. So you can see now the issue kind of still persists. The issue is persisting here. You can see how we subdivide this now. The meshing here is completely broken. So sometimes you might encounter something like this, not because it's something wrong, but sometimes ZBrush might just decide to just act up in a way can be quite frustrating to work with. So the major issues from the top part. That's where the major problem is coming from the top part. What I'm going to do would be modify the lower part, just make the necessary corrections I need to make in there, then export only the lower part out. That's where we don't have this properly aligned. Then we can just move on instead of having to redo the entire thing. Okay, the brush size. Right. The only piece we need will just be the lower parts. Just be the lower parts. I'm going to export the lower parts on this subdivision level instead. So I'm going to make a duplicate. Let's start by making a duplicate out of this. Another way, another way we can actually get around this would be to work with the original one. Just going to try and show you guys different methods to actually use. Another way we can actually get away from this would be just to use the default UV unwrapping. There isn't much going on. Okay, there's something needs to actually be in here. So we need this bit to be completely fine. So that might also be another issue. But let's just work with this method instead. This is like a more safer way to actually work. It's going to be a bit more safer instead. So let's start by bringing everything back out. Then we'll do let's do delete lower and then grab this again, invert the selection, then we'll do delete hidden. Okay, then we'll subdivide this some more. Just get something clean out of it. And then we're going to go over and then bake. Let's go over to the UV map. Picking at 4K resolution, normal map, click on bake. The lowest subdivision level needs to be active. Let's go to the lowest subdivision level, then create map, clone. Let's go over to this flip V export. I'll just name this to O1. Okay. Then I would need to export this out also too as the base. Export base bottom instead. Double T. Just to keep it separated. That should be fine. Then let's go back to Maya. Main issue is from this top piece. That's where the main issue is from. Let's make a duplicate of this. hide this for now. I'm going to pretty much delete the base. Okay, now let's re-import the new base. Now for this one also, let me see if I smooth this out. I'm still going to be getting an issue in there because the topology on those parts is not looking great. Maybe, just maybe, there's a way to actually fix this issue in here. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to actually bring back the other mesh and try and fix this in here. So since it's like a topology issue, there should be a way to actually fix this in here. So it feels like some vertices are not properly merged in there. That's why once double click on this to select it, you can see that some vertices are not properly merged correctly, at least as far as we know in here. So I'm going to make another duplicate. Let's make another duplicate of this and try and fix it. Okay, so I'm going to separate them out. I'm going to double click on this, and let's do extract faces, extract faces. All right, so this is going to be extracted as one separate piece. And let's isolate, and then I think let's start by merging points together first. Let's start by merging these 2 points. Let's be sure if that should fix the issue. So I'll go over to vertex, select all these verts actually. Then let's do merge vertices. I'll open the option in there. Let's click on merge. Okay, that might be a bit too much because we have quite a lot of poly vertices in here. So I'm trying to be careful not to merge something else. Let's go in there again. I'm going to start making adjustments to the values. Let's try 0.01. Fantastic. You can see how that actually fixed the issue. So that's completely fixed the issue. So I believe if we should import this again, we should have this fixed correctly as it should be. Let's check for the other side also too. So another way to actually be sure that we have actually fixed this would be to do auto smooth and then see if we still have the same issue. We still have slightly the same issue there, slightly. You can see how it kind of shrinks everything down way too much. Maybe what we need is actual some more loops across this. But this might also be another issue. Trying to get extra loops in there. It's not going around properly. So I'm going to merge all of this again. Maybe use a value of 0.03 instead. Okay, run this again. I think we're now getting something way cleaner now. Getting something a bit more cleaner, right? So we're going to try and import this again on the previous one to see if we get something good enough to work with. Or just basically import this again as a separate mesh, and then once we smooth, we get something good enough to work with. So let's do this again. Yes, so I'm supposed to select these two now and then merge them, combine them as one single piece. Issues like this all usually occurs. So it's not if you did something wrong, but sometimes issues like this just occurs on its own. So it's important to show you guys how to fix some of these issues. I'm supposed to rename this. Let's copy this name, paste that in there. I'll put fixed in front. So you know that this is the mesh I've actually fixed. I'll put this back in up here. This I'm going to send this down all the way actually. Okay, I'll select this. I'm going to do delete by type history, delete this, bring everything back out, select this again. The only issue we have in here is that it has kind of shrink these points we have in there, kind of shrunk them down a little bit more. So let's see if we can, before we export it out, let's see if we can. I think it would be way better to kind of do this inside of, way better to add them inside. Let me see if I can actually do a cut. Yes, now we can actually do a cut around this. Successfully do a cut around it. Let me undo that. Let's do it symmetrically instead. We can comfortably add more cuts in there just to hold the shape a little bit more. So it doesn't shrink out way too much. So in case you encounter issues like this is like it's a preferable way to actually fix those issues. Especially when it comes to importing and exporting to ZBrush. It's like one way to kind of fix it by just merging the points back in, and we should be good. But I would need to, I think the UV should still be in the same place. Our UV should most likely still be in the same place. Also, too, we can do better, yes, certainly. We can do better UVs in here now that we have this merged completely into one single piece. Creating UVs now should be, creating good UVs now should be way easier. That's like another bonus we kind of get from fixing the problem we have in here. So to make better sense to actually correct the UVs also. So we can just pretty much go to face mode, double click on this face, and we can do camera base again. Then we can separate the top parts out. Okay, top part is already selected, which is a good thing. So we can just do cuts and select them and then do unfold. Unfold. Fantastic. We still have the same issue, almost as if now the issue now is from the UVs. But I need to check something. If you hit 3 on the keyboard, Now you see the issue now has come back, which is just weird, really, really weird. So I need to undo that. I don't want this to completely ruin what we did before. So we had a good thing going on there before. I'm just going to pretty much leave this as it is. I'm going to re-import them in again. But this time around, I'm going to import them as a separate mesh. Let me just moon this just to be sure everything's working correctly as it should. So it's almost like a complete mess. If you fix one thing, it kind of spoils another thing. Even though we kind of fix the issue here, UV is not kind of messing things up completely for us in here, which is not what we want. So best probable way to kind of fix this would be just to export this out, and then the name is so flat base. I think to make better sense to actually use the same name, so flat, so flat base, so flat base fixed. Okay, then go back to ZBrush. We're going to hide this, do an append, select sphere, select the sphere, import that back in again. Okay, fantastic. So now we have this in here. Now let's subdivide. Subdividing this now, I can see how subdividing this actually fix the issue. Step, we need to make some adjustments to it. So we might need to start sculpting, fix this in here just to inflate this portion a bit more again. Pretty much that. And then we should be good. So let's go to the lower subdivision level. Okay. I might need to also delete some of these edges just to reinsert that tight edge loop we have in there. But most of this is something you can actually just fix off screen. So, but let's just fix the most common one, which is down here. Turn on symmetry for this. So pretty much just to undo that. Just to pull this out here as well. Okay. Out this way. And we should be good, I believe. Okay. So, I mean, since we're in here, we can just fix any other issue we have in here. I mean, why not? Right? So pretty much let's delete iron if we have any subdivision level in here, delete those. So BZM. I'll start by deleting some edges in here. So delete this edge, delete this edge rather. I need to make sure once we smooth, we kind of have this sharp edge back in. So I'm going to add one edge here. Okay. I'm going to delete this edge, add another edge here. Right. Then let's subdivide this. Let's see if we get that sharp edge in there. And then yes, now we do. Now we do pretty much what I'm going for. Okay. Do that. Let me hide this top part. I'm just gonna see if this. Let's bring everything back. I'm just gonna see if this still maintains the edging for the lower part. I don't think the lower part still maintains that edging. It need to reintroduce that edge again. So BZM. Okay, you need to delete higher. Hold Alt delete, not this edge. Hold Alt delete this edge. Okay, delete this, undo that, delete this edge as well. Let's bring everything back out. Let's see where we are at this. Okay, then we introduce a tight edge in here. Use another tight edge in here. I think this should work now. If we subdivide, yeah, fantastic. So that worked just fine for what we need it for. So one last thing we need to do is to go to BIN inflate brush, marks. Okay, then we need to inflate this some more. Right, bigger than it is right now. So undo that, get in close, do some minor smooth, zoom out, inflate this also. Okay, just to bring it back out, we can see another issue, obvious issue here. This one's kind of flattened out. So get this out. Right, just need to fix this fix this up as well. Invert the marks, get in here with inflate, okay, and see how it's need to kind of make some corrections in here as well by pulling this out some more, out also in here some more. Okay, then BIN, get in close, play this even more. Right, some more. Okay, that should be fine. Let's make sure I save this out. Then I believe export a low poly and then do some bake in India as well. Let's subdivide. Yes, I need to clear the marks. Subdivide one more. Go all the way down. Maybe not down too much. One subdivision level higher should be fine. Then we can bake at 4K resolution. Create normal map in here. Export the normal map. Let's do flip V export. Normal. Okay. Let's also export this out as our base mesh. I'll just put two in front. Then we need to also kind of check what we exported out, the bake we did to see if everything's working fine. For the most part, I don't really see any major issues, so this should be fine. Okay. Then we need to go back in here and then re-import this back in again. So I'm going to temporarily hide this. Let's import in the modified mesh. So this should be it. Drag and drop in here. Okay, UVs are still the way it is, so this should be fine. But something weird really happens when anytime we export, this part kind of gets shrinked in. There's shrinking going on in there, which I'm not a big fan of. Not entirely sure why that keeps happening though. So I need to always push this out. Okay. So export this out again. So fix base. Delete this. Let's go back in here to be sure everything's working correctly. You see under issue on the top part. Need to bring this out. Okay. But it needs to be symmetry turned on, which is fine. Make sure everything's working correctly again. Export this out. I believe we should be good now. So like I said before, it's a back and forth thing until you get it to look right. And I don't want to skip this tutorial and then just show you guys it already fixed. You need to kind of see how most of the issues are being fixed. Okay, now I know for a certain that something's actually up.